Hello there. Now I would like to share on ways and insights on how to transform our human suffering into peace and bliss. So it is helpful to realize that on the physical level it translates as our neuro connections that is sculpted through our experience in our nervous system. So our nervous system is habitual system. So when we are experiencing certain things and processing in certain ways, certain experiences, making various interpretations, conclusions, coming into belief systems. So yes, then those patterns crystallize, solidifies in our neural pathways through which our consciousness goes through, and yes, and then those patterns perpetuates. So and when they are perpetuating, even if it is negative, even if it is a negative belief system that produces more stress and suffering, it still naturally tries to prove itself right. So it will, tries to empower itself at the cost of our life force. So in that way, we can use our 100% life force to shrink it down, to feel like we are drained and depressed and so on. So yeah, and this works through judgment. When we are judging those perspectives that are judging us or some other things, so yeah, it is a loop of judgment, a loop of inner war. And the only way to break, or at least one of the ways to really break free from this chain reaction and to transform our nervous system, transform our wiring, rewiring ourselves, is to start to relate to those appearing thoughts, ideas, emotions, patterns with conscious awareness, with inner serenity, with neutral observation, compassion, and unconditional love, as much as we can bring those qualities into equation of our experience. So yeah, so we can start with neutral observation. It is easiest, it is most neutral starting point, and even only neutral observation can transform things, can release our suppressed energy. And yes, and then energy can start to move, our inner connections can become more flexible, more malleable, and then we can bring more positive vibrations into this equation. And yeah, to see what we can learn from those experiences, what wisdom we can extract out of these emotions and events and relationships and so on. How can we use that energy, that negative contractive energy, to maybe concentrate, to maybe realign our way of living, to see deeper into our soul, to find our deeper inspirations and callings. And yes, in that way, we are rewiring our nervous system. We are taking those knots of tension and then loosen them and then connecting in a new ways, in a more nourishing and relaxing and inspiring ways. But first we need to face our fears, our suffering fully, our confused mind. We need to, first of all, to acknowledge it, accept it for what it is, and then allow it to change by perceiving this, accepting this with neutrality, compassion, loving kindness. This automatically transforms in a better way. Automatically. Yes. In your pure awareness, there is absolute power, absolute harmonizing and balancing power. So first of all, acknowledge that power within yourself and how you can do it by spending more time in contemplating your awareness, being aware that you are aware, being aware of that process, that flawless, uninterruptible process of awareness. Nothing limits it, nothing bounds it. It transcends everything and therefore can harmonize, unify everything in the most beautiful ways. It is in nature of that our essential self. So we don't need to struggle for our transformation. It can actually be experienced in a very enjoyable and effortless way, even though there might be intense suffering. But still you can find more space of freedom in that equation of experience. It is always there. You just need to access it more. And then blend your suffering with that space of freedom and unconditional love. And then the inner alchemy starts to happen. And all of that suffering will start to shrink and then expand into peace, wisdom, inspiration, bliss, joy, and so on. Your creative expression in the world, and so on. But then, even while we are living very positive oriented life, very balanced way of life, still we can accumulate various heavy emotions, sometimes even imperceptibly. And then again we will start to feel at some point lots of emotional heaviness if we do not pay attention into those moments when those heavier emotions arise, like sadness or anxiety. So when we get into inertia to always feel good, to in a way of habitual behaviors in various strategies, relationships, and things, and that can transform into the patterns of avoidance. And when we don't face and accept a negative side of things, then yes, that negative side starts to accumulate, and then at some point it stops us. It can sometimes happen through various events, and they are trigger us in a very, very powerful way, and suddenly we feel completely destroyed, break down, and yes, and it is nothing wrong with that. It is just that moment where you need to just neutrally sit with your experience. So in these moments, it is best not to accumulate more judgments, because we can start to think and interpret this in various ways, trying to search the faults and the reasons and so on, why this is happening to me, what I have done wrong, or whatever's done wrong to me, or something else, and going into victim mentality and so on. So this doesn't help. This is only adding more momentum to that heavy emotional state. And sometimes, people stuck there for a long time. So don't get into this trap. Just observe neutrally. Just allow energy flow in the most neutral way, just as it is, without any smart additions. Because yes, our suffering mind always searches for ways to avoid that suffering. So instead, face that suffering as neutrally as you can. That is the best. Remember that. Because this is I perceive it as one of the biggest challenge for our modern society. Just to sit with your experience just as it is, without trying to reject or add anything else. Yes, and then you will see how miraculously fast everything shifts and realigns again back into your flow of inspired imagination. And then you can just prevent those strikes, those emotional breakdowns, just by regularly meditating with your feelings, just giving yourself space in a day to just purely feel what you feel, letting all the feelings wash through you. Especially when you start to see that you are again leaning back into the patterns of avoidance. Because sometimes, yes, we can use the similar tools, similar activities to really grow and expand and share goodness with others. But sometimes those same tools can turn into the tools of avoidance. And you can detect that difference when something is off, when something is maybe too much excessive, too much hedonism creates a lot of suffering, a lot of side effects. And yeah, and it might tell something, but maybe there is something else to life, something deeper reason for why you are here, deeper purpose for your unique expression in this life. So the more you are focusing on those deepest purposes, inspirations, callings in your life, those long-term, maybe even purposes, dreams, then yes, then all other smaller things naturally aligns into proper harmony, and you can enjoy all of those things, but they are all in check and they are not overwhelming you and not hurting your true path of your heart. So, I feel that's it for now. Of course, I could talk about it longer, but now it suffices. And I also invite you, if you feel drawn to into my private sessions where we can share one-on-one our experiences, our insights, where I can assist you in your inner transformation, your inner alchemy. This is my highest passion. Alchemical path is something that I was born into and experienced very deep inner transformations, and then by studying and practicing it, I gain more clarity, more context on this, and now I feel also inspired to assist others in this, to experience those bigger shifts in our quality of life in a much more harmonious, smooth, and conscious way. So yeah, so you can write me an email. The email is on information tab below this video. And yeah, and that's it. And also stay tuned, because I also want to create some maybe group courses for that. So also, if you would like to participate in a longer, maybe a month or even longer, regular group meetings, trainings, meditations, community, then also feel free to write that to me, let me know. And thank you very much for your support, for your feedback. You can also support me through just PayPal and so on. So yeah, let's grow together in the most enjoyable way, and see you soon. Bye.